Hi guys, welcome back. Kia Sangria here. We're just gonna go ahead and jump right into this project. So if you were here with Tuesday, you got to see this being completed. So we're done with the fashion layer of the corset top. And as a reminder, for this project, we're working with Butterick 5935, which is a corset top. So the next thing that we're gonna do for this project is we're actually gonna get started on cutting out the lining. I've decided that tonight I'm going to use my rotary cutter instead of my scissors because I just really want to get through this so we can go ahead and continue on with this project. So I'm just going to be quiet now and just finish cutting out like all these pieces with my rotary cutter. And I kind of decided to just keep my hair curlers in. I did today. I just really want to be relaxed tonight. I think sewing should be relaxing. You know, there's no one to really look cute for um, yet, that is. So I decided to keep it really, really casual tonight. Edges are not coming out as crisp as I want them to, so I'm just going to switch back to my scissors. Okay, so not have to use I hope everyone else is having a really good evening. We're so close to Friday, guys. I don't know why I tried to switch hands just now. I just want to see if I could do it. Obviously, I cannot. Continue. If you're just joining, welcome. Thank you so much for coming through tonight. I'm just trying to get through this lining so that we can go ahead and do some sewing tonight. I would really like to start putting boning in this so that by next week, Tuesday, we can start just putting the finishing touches on this piece. So if I'm quiet, that's the reason why. I'm just trying to get through this. You guys. Plus, you guys have seen me do this 3 times now, basically, so nothing interesting. But I'm still happy to have you here. All right, last piece. All right, guys, so all of the lining pieces are now cut out. So before we go on to sewing all these pieces together, we actually need to interface the back piece here. The reason for that is that we're going to put our grommets in this part, and you need that interfacing there when you do this just to add some more stability. So I'm going to take these scraps of interfacing that I have here, and I'm just going to iron my lining pieces to them. These are just some scraps that I had cut from other projects. I don't waste anything, and for the most part, like the size of the back piece, I can interface these pieces with these two straps here. So I'm just gonna take this towel and lay it down for ironing. I don't have an ironing board yet. I really do need to get one. Go ahead and get my iron ready. And then once I have interfaced these pieces, then we can start putting everything together and sewing it. Okay, this looks like it's in there pretty good. Get some more. And take this piece. Interfacing doesn't take too long to do, so. Alright, I have just interfaced my two back pieces, so I'm just going to cut away the excess interfacing. So here's how those pieces look. So I'm just going to cut them out. So we're almost done with this project. I'm very excited. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do next. This shirt that I'm wearing is actually a shirt that I made. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do this one next on the channel or if I just want to make a video out of it and then upload it instead of doing a stream. Still deciding. And just so you know, guys, a live replay of this will be up tonight. Alright, so I've cut out both of my interface pieces. So now I can actually start putting together the lining the same way that we did for the actual top itself. Get instructions, make sure we're doing that properly. stronger. Here we go. This is the right set of instructions here. Okay. Piece 1 to piece 2. So that's this way. I think what I'm actually going to try to do is pin as many pieces as I can together and then sew through them all at once. I don't think it's going to harm anything if we do it that way. So I've just pinned pieces 1 and 2 together. So I'm actually going to take, I don't see why it would hurt since we've done this so many times already. Just see if I can get through this a little bit quicker. Didn't like how this was pinned, so I'm just going to go through and pin it again to get it how I like it, because Because in the home stretch of this project, I really want to make sure this comes out the way that I want it to. This looks a lot better. And I have gone ahead and lost my instructions, which is fine. It's just use the foot. So there's that over. I have such a mess over here. Oh my gosh. Alright, so I'm actually going to go ahead and get started on sewing. So I'm going to unplug my iron. I'm going to plug in my sewing machine now. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and get started on sewing these pieces together. It is one of those instances where I now have to rethread my machine because my thread came out as soon as I decided I wanted to put my feet on the presser. Absolutely love when that happens. Not. Almost at the end of this piece. So the front is done, so I'm going to go ahead and do the side pieces here that I've pinned. I think I made a good call of like pinning these pieces instead of doing them one by one. I'm so sorry if I'm not talkative tonight, guys. I'm just really trying to get through this. So I really want to show you guys the finished product. I want to see the finished product. I'm really excited for this project. So trying to get through. Okay, so front part of the lining is done. So this is what the back is looking like. So now we're going to move on to the next part of the lining. Let's just grab those good old instructions, make sure we're doing this right. Now it's time to work with piece number 4. We're gonna take this piece right here. Basically do the same thing that we did for the mock-up that we did for the fashion layer, guys. I'm gonna take piece 5. So this pattern actually calls for you to do one whole layer of interfacing. So for each of these pieces that I'm cutting out, they want this to be like a 3-layer corset. I decided not to do that just because I've liked the way that my previous corsets have turned out with just doing interfacing on the piece that has the grommets going through it. So I decided not to do that. The only piece that I might actually put interfacing on is maybe the top of this, but it's only because I know that we have to put a grommet through here as well. And I want that part to be stable. I don't want the grommet to slip out. So I actually might do that after I'm done putting this entire thing together before I put this and sew it into the actual corset piece. So I've just pinned in pieces 4 and 5. So the last piece that I'm going, well, second to last, I'm actually going to go ahead and work with piece number 6 now. And I'm just pinning all of these together. That way I can just sew everything at once. I feel like that's the best way for me to do it right now. So I can just move a little faster with this. Okay, so I have pinned pieces 4, 5, and 6 together. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing them. I'm going to start moving these pieces out of my way and just trying to keep this area a little cleaner. I have quite the mess over here right now. It's not a good look, but sometimes it gets messy when you're sewing. So. I'm just gonna put this away. I really have to learn how to use my rotary cutter. I actually just bought it. Um, One of my girlfriends recommended it to me. She said it makes everything go quicker, but it's definitely a learning curve. So I'm just so used to cutting everything out with scissors. So if you got here earlier, you saw me struggle with it. But like I said, I'm sharing my wins, I'm sharing my losses, and right now, a rotary cutter is just not it for me. Once that completed, now we can cover. I see my bobbin is running low, so let's see if I can get through this. Over here. And you might think, what if I fall? Well, what if you don't? What if you fight? All right, guys, so pieces 4 and 5 are now connected. Now, the instructions did mention that there is a second panel that goes on one of the back pieces. I'm trying to figure out where on the instructions. Oh, okay. Prepare and stitch lining sections together in the same manner. Put both sides together, fold back extension 7 along fold line, stitch, leaving an opening as shown. On outside pin back extensions for right lining and stitch. Okay, so I think what it's asking for here is actually the modesty panel that I was talking about previously. So we're actually going to go ahead and do that. And that would be made with piece number 7, which is this here. I've actually decided to make the modesty panel out of the actual fabric, just because I think it's really cute. So I'm actually going to use some sewing clips instead of my pins, just because like early this week we found out that the pins were just making some really intense holes in the fabric, and just want to avoid that. I know it's kind of too late because I've already made the entire fashion layer with it, but when you know better, you do better. And so this is an example of that. Okay. So it did tell me to leave a little opening because we're going to turn this side out. I'm just going to cut some of the excess fabric that's on the sides here. And then cut these sharp corners. So let's go ahead and start turning this inside out. This fabric is so stiff. I forgot who it was on the last stream that told me that spoon flower cotton is like a better quality cotton, but this stuff is kind of hard to work with. This fabric is cute, but I don't know if I'll go for another spoon flower print anytime soon. Just trying to get these corners out. So here is the modesty panel. Just trying to turn these corners right side out. So it actually says I need to press this and then I guess like slip stitch this closed. So now we have a little bit of hand sewing involved too. But before I do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the front corset pieces and the back pieces together. That way, 7:41. So we're not gonna get to do the lining, finish off the lining tonight, but that just means that on Tuesday, we're gonna go ahead and start doing the boning. So I'm just gonna put these two pieces together. And then next week will be fun. I think boning is like one of my favorite parts of making a corset, just because it's so satisfying to see the piece come together the way that it does. So I'm looking forward to that. But this lining is about to be done. So if we do the boning on Tuesday, then for the most part, that means that we will be done with this project next week, Thursday. I don't see why we wouldn't be done. So that's exciting. Then I'll be able to wear this piece soon. Then I can think about the next project that we're gonna do. And by we, I mean me, unless you're following along at home or you have interest in following this. Um, but if not, that's cool. And I'm just really happy to have you here vibing. So I'm working on this. I'm working on 3 projects at the same time. I'm still working on that pajama set. I'm almost done with that. And then this weekend, I'm actually going to get started on working on Lenore from Castlevania, the Netflix series, if you've watched it. So I have quite a few projects. All right. I don't think my bobbin thread is going to last. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see, but like my bobbin thread is like half empty. So instead of letting it run out on me, I'm just going to go ahead and like refill it. Save myself the embarrassment. Save myself the frustration. Let's just refill that. I think that's enough thread to get me through this part of the piece. So let's get started at attaching these pieces together. I'm going to move that away. The last thing that we're going to do tonight is we're just going to iron our boning channels so that on Tuesday we can just go ahead and get started on installing the boning. So I'm going to just get my iron here. Put that on 3. And I'm going to get my towel here. So here's the lining. So we're just going to iron these pieces flat so that we can insert our boning next week. So to do that, we want these pieces to be Let me be the one to ease your pain. Okay. So you see how flat this is? We're basically going to do that all the way across. It's even harder to comprehend. It's a long ride. Say goodbye and hello. We came here from nowhere, going towards the unknown. Let me be the one to ease your pain. Let me the music. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, Tuesday wasn't that great of a day, so I wanted something uplifting, but it's Thursday, so I want a little something that's, more chill. I'm just ironing these boning channels out. That way, as soon as we come and we sit down on Tuesday night, we're going to get into installing boning. Let me show you guys. Here's my boning roll. It is not in the best shape because I don't roll it back up again, but we're going to start working with that come Tuesday. That's why we're doing the boning channels here tonight. So as soon as Tuesday comes, we can go ahead and start doing that. And the thing about corsets too is that you don't have to press your boning channels open. You can just lay them to the side. I prefer to keep them open. Everyone has their preference. So yeah, I'm just gonna iron my pieces. I just like the way that it looks and I like the way that it feels when I wear it. Oh my gosh, this iron is so hot. Okay guys, so all the boning channels are pressed out. So I'm gonna just leave them here to cool. So we have our lining and we have our fashion corset fabric. So we are very much almost done with this project. I'm just gonna take the modesty panel here and I'm going to iron this out and just make sure it's flat, because the next thing that I have to do with this is I have to, technically they want me to slip stitch it, and in order to do that I need to hand sew it. I'm just not sure if I'm going to do that on camera for you guys, just because I'm pretty sure we all know how to hand sew. So I might do this off camera. Probably will end up doing that because it's such a small, insignificant little detail in the grand scheme of this project. One of the things I hate about sewing is that when I come across something that I can't do with my sewing machine, because I really hate having to kind of stick a thread through those tiny little needles that are on, the little hand sewing needles, but it must be done. Okay. I'm going to turn my iron off. Okay. So once again, to take a little bit of time to talk to you guys about the type of boning I'm using. So there's 3 types of boning that you can use for corset making. You can use steel boning. You can use polyester boning, which is this right here, and then you can also use zip ties. I use both zip ties and polyester boning. I won't say I'm not good enough. I'll just say that the corset pieces that I make are for cosplay. So having them made out of stainless steel boning, I don't need that. This right here does everything that I needed to do. And the best part about this boning, and I really recommend this boning for beginners, is that you can actually sew through this. And you guys are going to see that next week. I think I'm just going to go ahead and like sew these pieces directly to the lining, just so that you guys can understand what the difference is. And maybe the next time we make a corset, then I will use the zip ties, and you'll get to see the difference between the polyester boning that you can sew through and then the zip tie boning that you have to make boning channels for. They both have their pros and cons. Since this corset top is really for fashion, not so much for cosplay, I will be using this sew through boning. You can get this online at Michael's or any place that sews like sewing materials. I think I paid maybe $11.99 for this, and this is about 50 yards of polyester boning. So you can get a lot of this for a very affordable price. So if you're just a beginner when it comes to this, definitely check out polyester boning. A lot of corset pros will not recommend this just because it's very costumey and things of that nature. But costumes, what I do. I'm not using this to make historical corsets or anything like that. Unless I'm sure you could use that for it, but most people that I know that make historical corset pieces would never go for something like this. But there's something out there for everyone. So next week, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and install that boning in the channels of the corset lining. And then that hopefully won't take too much time on Tuesday, because what I really want to do is after we are done sewing that together, we're going to be sewing these pieces together. Like we're going to lay the fashion layer on top of the lining, and we're just going to sew around the entire thing to join these 2 pieces together. And that's going to be fun. And that'll be next week's project. And I'll get to explain to you guys more about the boning. I'm actually just going to go ahead and cut these loose threads, because that's the one thing I'm not good at when sewing. Like I have a ton of loose threads everywhere because I'm too lazy to like cut. It's definitely a bad habit that I need to break. I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up here. It just makes everything neater, and I deserve to have a neat garment. Fashion layer is clean. Let's get into this now. Loose threads everywhere. This is like the not so glamorous side of sewing anything. It's just doing the cleanup to make sure that your piece comes out neat. I don't do this often because like it's so tedious, but I really do want to get into cleaning up the inside of my garments so that they're as beautiful on the inside as they are on the outside, because I am not good at cleaning up my garments like that. right, so both the corset lining and the corset are done. So this is what we have, guys. Once again, we have our fashion layer here, which is what people are going to see on the outside when we're wearing it. And then we have the lining. This is going to be on the inside of the garment. And we're going to put the boning in this next week. We're going to do that Tuesday at 7 p.m. So we'll be back here on Tuesday at 7 p.m. So we can go ahead and install our boning, go ahead and sew in this modesty panel. And then Thursday, I expect us to be completely done with the project. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for us to really be done with it then. So we're going to come back on Tuesday at 7 with our A game. We're going to be ready to install this boning, ready to put these pieces together. And then we will see what else we can get done. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciated having you. This is so fun for me, and I hope you guys are learning something. If you're working on anything right now and you have any questions or you need help with something, please reach out to me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can also leave a comment on this video and I will respond to you. And yeah, thank you so much for letting me entertain you guys tonight. I really do enjoy our little sewing streams and our little time together. And I will see you guys next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys stay safe. Tomorrow is Friday, and I'm so excited for it. So thank you for everyone that tuned into the stream, everyone that leaves me feedback, and everyone that has given me tips on how to run my stream. This is my very first sewing stream. I'm still experimenting. So if you guys want to see something or you want different angles, please let me know so that I can work on making this better for you. I want to make sure that you guys are having fun and most importantly that you guys are learning something when you come through here. So with that being said, this is Kia Sangria